Just in the last hour, we do have some breaking news regarding President Trump's tariffs that were struck down by, shockingly, a district court last night. There was another ruling against them today. Today, an appeals court has just ruled within the last 45 minutes or so that President Trump's tariffs can remain in effect while the case makes its way through the federal court system. We are going to, on today's Dan O'Donnell Show, get into this in much greater depth. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to dedicate a good portion of that 4 o'clock hour to once again exploring just what it is that the district courts are doing by inserting themselves into what should be a dispute between Congress and the President of the United States. This goes well beyond trade. This gets to the heart of what federalism and the separation of powers actually means. If you would like to join the Dan O'Donnell Show today, we have got a ton of cool stuff coming up. I find it fitting that we have the most punk rock, heavy metal talk show producer in the game. Producer Jeff is here, and today's Forgotten History has to do with a punk rock band that went a little soft, but in so doing, actually provided salvation to nearly 24 people. It is one of my favorite stories from the history of rock and roll in this country. It is this week's episode of Forgotten History. It's coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Unsung Hero of the Day at the end of the 4 o'clock hour. Of course, Unhinged Liberal of the Day, all on the way. Plus, the libs once again want to demolish 794. I don't know what it is about the city of Milwaukee and tearing down freeways. We are still the only city that has ever done it, and they want to do it again because they want to make Milwaukee, I don't know, more bikeable. The city planners will not stop until they have destroyed Western civilization. Somehow, the Roman Empire was built. Do you realize that there are still roads? All roads lead to Rome, was the old saying. There are still Roman roads that exist. We were doing just fine as a species. We were doing just fine as societies before the urban planners showed up. But they are back. They are back with a vengeance. There is an informational meeting tonight about tearing down 794. We will tear into that notion coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. You want to join us, 414-799-1130. That is our adventknows.com talk and text line. You can reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. And you can always, always, always find the show streaming live on YouTube. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now May 29th, and that means in just a couple of days, on Sunday, things are gonna get weird. Once again, it is time for a Pride Month update.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen.
Democrats in the Wisconsin Legislature wanted to get an early start on the Pride Month festivities, so the LGBTQI plus caucus, don't laugh, that's a real thing, all Democrats in the Wisconsin Legislature introduced a package of bills today at a press conference that would do a number of things. They, of course, would have the resolution recognizing June as Pride Month. They want to ban conversion therapy, making the gays into the straights. They want to eliminate constitutional restrictions on marriage, which would basically codify here in Wisconsin the Obergefell v. Hodges decision that legalized gay marriage across the country, and a crime bill. The only time Democrats will ever get serious about crime is when their legislation says you can't assault a trans person for their gender identity. How did things get weird ladies and gentlemen. Well, on this marriage equality bill, they always call it a marriage equality bill. They brought up a religious expert, someone from the church who they feel should talk about, the religious component to this. Serious religious leader, right? That they brought up and spoke during this morning's press conference. It is Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele. This is a real person who is wearing a black beret. It is a biological male identifying as a female, wearing a beret and a sleeveless red top with, of course, a priest's collar and a whole bunch of tattoos up and down her arms. And she said, well, something that even hours later, I am still not entirely sure I understand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Wisconsin Democrat religious expert on gay marriage.
I come to you as a woman married to her wife, my loves, married to my wife, 38 years. Our relationship over that time, the conversation of that relationship isn't like the conversation of the relationships of others. We each find our own way into the spaces that we are. None of us have marriages or relations like our neighbors. We shouldn't. This is a time for us to all welcome all of us at this table, at this conversation. Instead of building walls, build the table where we all sit down together.
Okay. Am I the only one who is really, really worried about how she exactly finds her way into people's spaces? I don't know. I was a little taken aback by this. So it was such a unique name. Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele. I had to do what I do on this show, and that is some research into who this person is. Well, Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele refers to herself as a queer street preacher in Madison, which, if I'm not mistaken, is someone who just shouts weird stuff on State Street. But she also moonlights, and I mean this in the truest sense of the phrase, moonlights, according to her Instagram page, as a drag performer known as Mother Scandalish. And Scandalish is spelled Scandelish. So scandalous and delish, as in she is delish. I regret to inform you, the pictures that I am looking at that are now up on X and Facebook, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, are not delish. This is not a drag performance I think you would want to take the kids to. Mother Scandalish, a.k.a. Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele, is seen wearing not a whole lot. Now, what's nice about this performance is she does still keep her solemn religious identity. She now has a black and white priest's collar, which looks suspiciously like a dog collar. Oftentimes, those will feature into drag performances. Mother Scandalish is wearing thigh-high, sheer black pantyhose. My producer is just now seeing the pictures, and yeah, you came upon that one. So from the front, she doesn't look all that scandalish. I think the most scandalous thing about her is that she hasn't done crunches in several decades. But the next picture that is available on her Instagram features Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele / Mother Scandalish from the back, flipping off the crowd and the camera And, well, let's just say the picture is a little cheeky for my liking. She is literally moonlighting as a drag performer. This is the person that the Democrats in the Wisconsin legislature, who, remember, demand to be taken seriously. This is the LGBTQIA plus caucus. This is the person that they brought out to give some weight, some gravitas, some spiritual backing to their gay marriage bill. Well, turns out Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele also has a TikTok in which she informs the less spiritually enlightened. I would love to know where she went to divinity school, by the way, because some of the stuff you are about to hear is truly enlightened discourse on Scripture. Now, I thought Scripture was the books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that together tell the story of Jesus, right? The Gospels, right? But Scripture, the Bible, this was, we talk about Scripture. We talk about the Word of God. Some people believe that this is the literal Word of God as it comes through the writers of the Gospels, as it comes through the Old Testament writers, that the Proverbs were literally written by King Solomon, the Psalms written by King David, and it was God who breathed their life. Well, Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele / Mother Scandalish has a different view of Scripture, which I'm sure Democrats in the Wisconsin legislature would love me to share, since this is the person that they elevated as the spiritual leader in Wisconsin who needed to bless their bill. According to Mother Scandalish, Scripture isn't God-breathed holy text. Scripture is sex, and sex is Scripture.
My loves, sex is Scripture. This is what I said yesterday. And it's true, and also, it's not. I lean into the teaching of the Bible that all Scripture is life-giving, and therefore I posit that, therefore, those things that are life-giving are also Scripture. It's partly an attempt to break free from cishet male identity theology that says, well,
cishet male identity would be cisgender heterosexual. So not trans, not gay. Got it?
But Scripture is only what was written a couple thousand years ago.
So the cishets, the evil cishets, are. This is a new one. This is a new slur that I am absolutely going to go, well, you unenlightened cishets. You couldn't possibly know that sex is Scripture. So the cishets say, well, this is just something that was written several thousand years ago. But Mother Scandalish has a much more enlightened view than do the cishets.
Oh, and decided on by a bunch of men, right? No, we're not doing that. We're not bowing to patriarchy. Not on this channel.
You see, the Democrat religious expert who blessed the bills today and urged their passage, well, she thinks that Scripture is really about sex and the Bible blessing. Now, what type of sex, you might think? Now, I might have to check with my own pastor on this, who shockingly, Democrats, did you know you can have a pastor who does not actually moonlight as a drag queen? My pastor doesn't. I know I'm in the minority here. I know most pastors must. I mean, because clearly Democrats couldn't have found today a pastor who is not also a drag queen showing her butt cheeks all over Instagram if they wanted to be taken seriously as the very serious legislators that they are. Oh, folks, it gets even more unhinged than this. Wait until I get into what is actually in the bill. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. It is welcome to the Democrat circus. I love it when the circus comes to town every single June. They say it's Pride Month. I say, if it's not a circus, why is everybody dressed up like a clown? Okay. So what type of sex is blessed by God? Now, I thought God created Adam and Eve, and I thought Eve was made from one of Adam's ribs, and she was to be Adam's companion, right? They then populated the earth. I thought, okay, that once we got beyond the old, the kings would have 700 wives and 800 concubines, Jesus sort of said, hey, New Testament, we kind of settled down a little bit and say, one woman's probably enough, right? Well, not for Mother Scandalish. The Scandalish thing is actually to only have one spouse, because God, you see, the Bible, Scripture, blesses polyamory, aka just having all sorts of sex at all times.
My loves, promiscuity.
Okay. She opens every TikTok video with, hi, my loves. And I could, honest to God, feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Like, I immediately went into the fight or flight reflex, like, oh my God, what the hell is that? Why is it calling me my loves? So she opens everyone with my loves, and she says, look, promiscuity is not a sin. Not a sin. I remember these commandments that some dude brought down from a mountain. I thought adultery was on there and like coveting thy neighbor's wife, but what the hell do I know? Apparently, the new commandment from Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele is do thy neighbor all the time.
My loves, promiscuity. Let's talk about this. Because in my tradition, there's the language from one of our guidances. Promiscuity and sexual activity without a spirit of mutuality and commitment are sinful. And it goes on to talk about how they're destructive consequences for individuals, relationships, and community. I agree with that. Mutuality is key, right? I would argue that poly has mutuality built into it, radical mutuality, radical consent. And from what I've seen, most cishet relationships don't have that. They're very much about pleasing the man. It's not a mutuality.
So you cishets, again, got a real problem with you and your marriages. You don't have mutuality in your sex. You cishets had better go out and have a whole lot of promiscuous sex like Jesus wants you to.
Now, maybe I'm wrong about that piece. I'm not cishet. I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong about that. But mutuality is beautiful. Radical consent is beautiful, and in no way precludes poly or sexual activity. I love you.
So, today's spiritual lesson. Got to have a whole lot of promiscuous sex, cishets. I'm trying to help you. The Wisconsin Democratic LGBTQIARSTUVWXYZ caucus is only trying to help you, okay? Because you cishets just don't understand the Bible. You don't understand what God is trying to tell you. You need someone like the queer street preacher who they brought up. Now, if you thought that was about as freaking weird as Democrats in the Wisconsin Legislature could possibly have gotten, we're still like 4 days away from Pride Month. Dems, you can't. I wanted to say blow your, but I'm not gonna, since we're talking about that, and Mother Scandalish might take that a little too literally. You can't you can't peak too early. You can't. We got to save ourselves. We want to hit peak weird, like right in the middle of Pride Month, like June 15th. If you're going to be this weird, what do you have to offer the kindergartners in the drag performances by like June 25th? Okay. We want to save some of that weirdness. Lest you thought this was as weird as it gets. You will be absolutely shocked by how many times Democrats can disappear women from their legislation. Wait till you hear what they have replaced women with this time. We've got that next here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Dan O'Donnell is coming right back after this. The city.
Las Vegas.
Vegas, make some noise!
The event.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Live. Welcome. One stage.
2 nights. The biggest stars in music return this September.
To make history.
The world's biggest artists are taking this stage.
Stream live only on Hulu.
I said, woo!
Listen right here as the star-studded lineup is revealed.
Tuesday morning.
At 7.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF, and see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
Hello, commercial truck customers. Michael Lynch here with exciting news. Our expanded state-of-the-art truck center is now complete. With 27 full-service bays and over 15 acres of parking, we're delivering faster service and a better customer experience than ever before. Our sales team, over 150 years of combined truck experience. That means no training your salesperson. We understand your business and speak your language. Our service department runs 2 full shifts, so we're turning wrenches long after others close. Working late so your trucks spend less time in the shop and more time on the road. Need a custom upfit? Done. Vehicle lettering? No problem. Want it delivered to your door? You got it. Completely contactless. We proudly offer Chevrolet, GMC, Hino, and Isuzu trucks, ready for hauling, building, or delivering. Whatever you need, we've got the right truck right now. Come see the difference at Lynch Truck Center in Waterford or visit lynchtruckcenter.com. Give us a try. We won't disappoint you.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing and because her Accunet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Your showrooms are employee-free.
Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why?
To save you money.
How much money?
Our 42 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
That's pretty good.
And through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest or Silly Posturepedic mattress in any size and receive a free adjustable base. Plus, free next day delivery and free financing's available too.
I like the way you do business.
Find the self-service employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Do you know what the scariest sound to hear on a factory floor is? Silence. That means something somewhere broke. Production has stopped, and now you're paying your workers to wait while the team troubleshoots and tries to fix the problem. Finally, there's a proactive way to reduce equipment downtime, thanks to MaintainX. MaintainX is the asset management system that brings your maintenance downtime to zero. MaintainX lets you build preventative maintenance schedules, manage work orders in real time, and access the data you need to make better decisions. Downtime equals death in the production world, so make unplanned downtime a thing of the past. Try MaintainX for free. Control the daily operations of your business and transform your maintenance program by going to maintainx.com. That's maintain and the letter X.com.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Words of wisdom from Mother Scandalish, a.k.a. Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele. And yes, I do just like saying Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele because Democrats in the Wisconsin Legislature, specifically the LGBTQIA plus caucus, introduced a package of legislation and brought her up to support the Marriage Equality Act. Basically, what the bill does is to codify the Supreme Court decision from about, 12, 13 years ago. I believe this was 2012, 2013, Obergefell v. Hodges, that legalized gay marriage. We still don't have a law in Wisconsin that legalizes gay marriage, but seeing as enacting or enforcing any legislation that would bar gay marriage violates the Constitution and would go against the standards set in Hodges, nobody has wanted to do this. Well, Democrats today introduced this legislation, which was, of course, blessed by Mother Scandalish. It is a 164-page bill. And kudos to State Representative Amanda Nedweski, who went through all 164 pages and found that the word mother is crossed out and replaced 370 times. Nedweski, you might recall, is also the person who first found in a Governor Evers proposed piece of legislation in his proposed budget the fact that he was replacing the word mother with inseminated person. When we reported on this, we were the ones who broke this story using Nedweski's research. He did a great job on this. It became a massive story, a viral story. Elon Musk tweeted about it. It was on Fox News, all over the place. People couldn't believe that Wisconsin's governor was that freaking weird. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you that as weird as Evers may be, he's got nothing on the LGBTQIA plus caucus and Democrats in the Wisconsin legislature. Among the references to mother that is crossed out is this one. The declaration shall contain personal information regarding, this is just a random part of this bill, which would replace legislation. The reason that the word mother is crossed out is because this new legislation would replace the verbiage of the old statutes that are already on the book. So the personal information of the mother, nope, parent who gave birth, or expectant parent if it's a pregnant mother. Here's another one. Subsection 2 does not apply to a mother's breastfeeding. Crossed out? Nope. Not just mothers who can breastfeed anymore. A person's breastfeeding. Which means the obvious implication here is that since not only women can be mothers, and since not only mothers can breastfeed, Democrats who crafted this legislation, the LGBTQIA plus caucus, working very closely, I'm sure, with Mother Scandalish / Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele, very serious, austere religious scholar she is, they must believe that men can breastfeed. Now, I do not belong to the party of science. I myself am accused of denying science. I'm not aware that men have evolved the ability to breastfeed. Now, I might be different. Maybe I'm not squeezing hard enough, but I don't think milk is going to come out of there. Folks, this is to say that Democrats are fundamentally unserious people who put forward fundamentally unserious legislation with fundamentally unserious religious leaders who masquerade as serious thinkers, but are in reality weirdo drag queens who perform with their butt cheeks out in Madison. Seriously, you couldn't find another religious figure other than Mother Scandalish Dems to help you sell the Pride Month legislation. We will have more on this. I would strongly encourage you, if you've got a strong stomach, check out the pictures of Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele on my social media.
I'm Art Flater of Central Office Systems. Any business can be brought to its knees by thieves and IT hackers.
Chris Rozecki here. The IT guy you've known since high school doesn't have the resources to protect your organization.
Central Office Systems is the small business IT company that understands cyber with resources to back up your network.
Does your team work outside the hours of 8 to 5? Does your IT company do the same without nickel and diming you? Central Office Systems. No nickeling, no diming.
You hear those injured ads? Cameras with good resolution working properly cut down on injuries. Cameras deter thieves. Cameras deter scammers. Cameras that work.
With Central Office Systems Managed Network Support, a qualified technician grateful for the opportunity to solve your issue answers the phone within 1 minute.
Camera systems, network security, network support.
Have insurance? Will that satisfy your customers while your company's crucial business functions are zero for a week or two? Real Insurance is utilizing an IT service provider who secures your computers from ever going down.
CentralOfficeSystems.com.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
How about this one? Look, 3 bedrooms.
What's the catch?
Well, we'd have to replace the appliances.
All right.
And the style is straight out of the 80s.
Oof.
And the roof leaks.
How about a Ready Home from Belinsky Homes? They've got brand new homes in a wide variety of designs. We get all the benefits of new construction while skipping the building process. Look, just go to Belinsky.com to see all the ready homes available right now.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I'm Patty from Prospect Hill.
Prospect Hill is a destination garden center. People from across southeastern Wisconsin come for our superior variety of Wisconsin-grown, climate-acclimated perennials.
Mike's right. Think about it. If you invest in perennial happiness with flowers, shrubs, and trees, don't you want the best, most beautiful, healthy plants and nursery stock?
Unlike hardware stores or chain garden centers, Prospect Hill grows plants. Grown right here in New Berlin, our perennials are hardier and healthier.
Because we are the grower, there is no middleman driving up the price. Our superior plants cost less at Prospect Hill. Our trees, shrubs, and perennial flowers bring a lifetime of happiness.
Even the soil we use, a proprietary mix of beneficial ingredients and mycorrhizae, help perennials start stronger, larger, and prettier in this climate.
Your yard will be a slice of paradise. Make every normal day abnormally beautiful with Prospect Hill, National Avenue and Racine Avenue in New Berlin. Bloomsite.com.
Need a refresh? Blue Line has you covered. We specialize in window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and pressure washing for homes and businesses. From sparkling windows to spotless gutters, we deliver quality you can trust and results you can see. Get a free estimate today at BlueLineWW.com and let Blue Line make your property shine. Blue Line, quality you can trust, results you can see.
For superior carpet cleaning, hire a company with over 75 years of experience that will get the job done right the first time. Always clean, always on time. Edelman.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
Divergent family law will work with both parties of a divorce to an agreed upon final assignment of assets and custody. Prefer or have no choice but fight for every and any advantage through divorce? Divergent's attorneys do that too. Divergent family law, separate and equal or better. DivergentFamilyLaw.com.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
iHeartRadio's got you covered for the summer. Sail on with commercial-free weekends on Yacht Rock Radio. Roll down the windows for road trips with summer playlists like Summer Classics. Or just escape into a podcast. Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
iHeartRadio.
All right, so I was looking through this 164-page Democrat marriage equality bill that was introduced today with the assistance of Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele. This sounds like a character on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Wasn't that the owl? Was Vika Etta Henrietta Owl? Was that? Did she also moonlight as a transgender drag queen named, I don't know, she goes by Mother Scandalish when she's baring her cheeks at the hopefully 21 plus. Now, I want to know, does Mother we have pictures of this person taken directly from her Instagram account, which I'm sure has since gone private once I started. It is the only thing once I started talking about her that she is not showing. It's her Instagram page. And on TikTok, she has got very distinct views on promiscuity, on sex, all Bible-based. Clearly, I would consult with my pastor, but chances are you're going to find that the butt cheek lady knows more about scripture than your average divinity PhD. It's what I've found. I found the more cheeks that a pastor is showing on stage, the better, theology you will get. It's rule of life. Rule of life. It's science. Yeah, it's science. Speaking of science, I found something that is very likely way, way worse than renaming mothers. In this bill, Democrats want to remove the concept of biological parenthood. I have found 47 different instances in which they replace the word biological, as in biological father or biological mother, with natural parent. Now, there are very specific definitions that the law sort of employs here. When it comes to, say, paternal rights of a, biological father, biological mother who give up the child for adoption. There are legal issues surrounding artificial insemination, sperm donation, egg donation, and the like. The biological parent or biological mother is now natural parent. And I can't actually come up with a valid reason anyone would want to do this. Now, the obvious question is, why? Is it to be more inclusive? Because it seems to me that by saying not only women can be mothers, I mean, this has sort of been since the dawn of humanity, the role of women. And I don't mean it's their only role. I mean that the biological function, and I don't want to give a sex ed course here live on the radio, but the biological function of women was to carry and give birth to children. The biological function of men in this equation is to provide the genetic material, shall we say, to seed or fertilize the egg. If women are stripped of their unique ability, their miraculous ability to carry and give birth to children, and it is an honest to goodness miracle, then that's not inclusive at all. Because it's saying, well, women, you're just an inseminated person. Biological parents, there's no such thing. But they say it's Republicans who are the ones who are not inclusive, who want to isolate them. Christian Phelps is a Democrat representative from Western Wisconsin. He is also the chair of the LGBTQIA plus caucus, I guess the ringmaster of this circus. Here he was introducing today's press conference.
We celebrate the history of the LGBTQ plus movement and the future of our population. And I can't think of a more important time to do that. Because meanwhile in Washington, the Trump administration and Republicans here in Wisconsin are engaging in rhetoric and political activity that seeks to erase LGBTQ plus people and target us. The goal in that rhetoric and in that movement is to make us feel alone. But our diversity in age and geography is our population's strength. And we are very far from alone, as you can see here this morning.
Okay, whoa. The goal of the past hour, Christian, not to isolate you. I think I've been pretty clear. It's to make fun of you. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, unhinged liberal of the day. No surprises here who it's going to be, but it's coming up next.
From the place you want to go, Lynch McGuanago Traffic Center.
And Racine County got a crash 4194 northbound just past Highway 20. 3 left lanes are blocked there. You got solid delays back to Highway 11 and a bit of a gaper southbound. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radios walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
Bob from Redefined Realty here. I'd written my own ads for 20 years.
Creative genius. Here. Same. Well, Inet's ads and 100 other businesses' ads.
Writing your own ads, you kind of get stuck repeating the same message, different words, but the same perspective.
Before introducing Easy Home Bidder, Bob came to Inet to brand his brainchild, MLS Listing backed by auction. It's brilliant. MLS guarantees the home is found. Auction guarantees the highest sale price. Period.
Inet branded it, wrote our story, knocked our marketing out of the park. When you think of selling your home, you know MLS and auction together is the right choice.
Redefined also benefits from unparalleled radio buying power, industry influence, and extracurricular enhancement of being part of the Inet community. More than 1,000 businesses working together for each other's successes.
Websites, branding, design, video, and radio. Inet is improving the economy one business at a time.
InetDishWeb.com.
CreativeGeniusMarketing.com.
Buyers, sellers, real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
It's really nice of Paul and Amy to have us for dinner tonight. Wow, check out their outdoor lighting. Certainly looks better than the one we had installed by our so-called lighting professional.
That sure does, doesn't it?
Oh, hey, Paul. I'm really impressed with your outdoor lighting. When did you have that installed?
Oh, just last week.
Wow, it looks like it's been here forever. Your lawn and plants seem to be untouched.
We had world-class outdoor lighting install the system, and we couldn't have been happier.
Give Kevin a call at 262-549-LIGHT. That's 262-549-LITE.
Hi, I'm Kevin, owner of World Class Outdoor Lighting. We're a leader in technology, material, and design, which means you can expect years of quality outdoor lighting. With multiple offices, we can serve the entire listening area. Be the envy of your neighborhood. Give our main office a call and set up a free consultation. 262-549-5483 or 262-549-LIGHT, LITE, or visit us online at worldclassoutdoorlighting.com.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
There's a reason people sell to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
The process with Grandview was virtually effortless. They give you a fair price offer, close quickly, and pay promptly.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
People should be judged for the content of their character, not the straightness of their teeth.
I'm Mila. The gracious, caring staff at Ross Dental make straight teeth convenient.
Bo, Mila's big brother here. High school social pressure can make students want to be invisible. Ross Dental Straight teeth are confidence building.
With Ross Dental Straight teeth, you and your children will smile like you just don't care because you don't.
Dr. Ross did imaging and ordered virtually invisible plastic trays that fit over our teeth, shifting them ever so slightly.
Every 5 days or so, we start new trays that shift teeth a little more.
Unlike conventional braces, we can take the trays off to eat and brush our teeth, and they cost less.
A bonus for me is clicking in my jaw stopped.
Dr. Ross is a great dentist, and Dad says Ross Dental is the best deal.
Family dentistry, cosmetic whitening, Ross Dental Straight smiles, and full sedation dentistry. For anxious patients needing substantial restoration. Our mission, your comfort, health, and confidence. Smile like you just don't care, because you don't. rossdentalwi.com.
The storm chasers are circling. It's Jay, and you'll probably encounter them given the recent severe weather here. I've gotten a few calls just because hail dropped in my area. But if your roof is damaged, understand that they'll be gone and into the next town, and you'll be out of luck when you need warranty work done or aren't satisfied with their job. Some of them also try to pressure you into signing a contract on the spot. It's better to go with Semperfi, a trusted local roofer whose business model is literally will be that standout company. Semperfi offers a fast, free 21-point roof inspection and estimate, world-class customer service, and skilled installation by trained and tested work crews. They also offer a 15-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install, and yes, Semperfi works with all insurance companies. This is the roof on your home. It's too important to take a chance on a roving roofer. Call Semperfi Roofing today, 262-600-2910. That's 262-600-2910, or go online to semperfiroofing.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
I spent that commercial break trying to figure out some justification that might be in this, what is ostensibly a marriage equality bill that Democrats in the legislature introduced today for replacing the concept of biological parenthood with that of natural parenthood. So there are no more biological mothers or biological fathers in state law. Democrats get their way. No more biological mothers. And mothers, by the way, are persons who gave birth in this bill. They removed the word mother 370 different times. And father, just in case you thought the guys would be spared from this, no, because there's no such thing as a mother and a father. It's just parents. Fathers are now parent who did not give birth. But what is a parent? Adoptive parent is left alone. But biological parent, the very concept, is stripped from state law under this proposed legislation. And honest to goodness, folks, I cannot figure out why. Time now to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is over.
Your unhinged liberal of the day is Mother Buttcheeks herself. She is Vicar Vika Etta Henrietta Steele, the transgender queer street pastor who testified, or at least was at the press conference introducing legislation in support of changing all of these well-settled terms. She also is a drag performer. We found her Instagram and TikTok, in which she performs with cheeks very proudly and prominently displayed as she's giving the middle finger to her audience. Presumably because they saw the butt cheeks and started booing, and that's why she's flipping them off. I don't know. I'm inferring a lot from that picture. She performs as Mother Scandalish. She and everybody who thought it was a good idea to bring this person in for a serious news conference from the legislature, your unhinged liberals of the day.
Listen to Benjamin Yount, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee. And make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Michaels. The Trump administration reportedly wants ICE officials to meet a quota when it comes to migrant arrests.
Axios is reporting that top Trump aide Stephen Miller and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem are asking immigration agents to bump up their arrests to 3,000 a day. That's triple the daily arrests that the agents were making when Trump was first sworn in.
Fox's Madison Allworth and a federal appeals court will now allow President Trump to continue collecting tariffs under emergency powers law. The 4 o'clock business report brought to you by the Good Feet store. The Dow was up today, 117 points. The NASDAQ gained 71, while the S&P rose 23. Checking the Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard. Game 5 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals tonight. The Pacers are in New York to play the Knicks. They lead their best-of-7 series 3-1. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels. On Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Mostly cloudy for our Thursday. Isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two possible this afternoon. High near 68, should drop into the low 50s tonight under partly cloudy skies, then 78 for tomorrow. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Blindster.com's Memorial Day sale is on. Save up to 50% site-wide. As a family-owned business, we make custom blinds, shades, and shutters designed to fit your windows and your life. Hurry! The sale ends May 29th, only at Blindster.com.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
I'm Ryan Harrison, owner of Ryan Waterproofing. If it seems rain hangs around your home coming down as insidiously delicate droplets, or in buckets, and if neither, rain tends to lurk suspiciously in the atmosphere around your house, you probably have a wet, mildewy, leaky basement with cracked walls. No basement wall or foundation repair is too big or small for Ryan Waterproofing. We won't be the most expensive. The larger the job, the more you'll save with Ryan. We've eliminated bowed walls, cracks, spalling, seepage, and flooding in Coast Guard stations, museums, and countless Wisconsin homes. Ryan's waterproofing experts show up on time and do exactly what we say we're going to do, eliminating your water problems, restoring your home, even ending your negative obsession with rain. Imagine looking out the window for rainbows rather than obsessing about your basement walls and floors next time, every time it rains. Free estimates, affordable financing. Because praying for drought is overrated. Ryan Waterproofing, call Ryan.com. That's call RION.com.
Josh from Infinity here. The exterior remodeling industry is notorious for wild price disparities and hidden costs. Infinity has revolutionized the exterior remodeling experience. Our custom-built app is your window into our world of clear, accurate pricing.
MJ here. No more guesswork. No more unpleasant surprises. Every detail, all materials are clear for you to see. Absolute pricing transparency makes Infinity the most trusted roofing and exterior remodeling company in the Midwest.
We built Infinity on a foundation of integrity. More than installing roofs, siding, and windows, Infinity installs peace of mind, building lifelong relationships with our customers.
Infinity's proprietary app is an extension of our commitment, providing exact line item pricing, something unheard of in roofing and exterior remodeling.
Infinity's unmatched buying power saves you money. We pay less, you pay less. Infinity provides multiple budget options real time. Everything is at your fingertips, including financing options before we leave your home.
Warranted, guaranteed quality. Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
I'm Kelly Lammert, owner of Clean Living Environments.
I'm Grave Genius. Since building 2 rooms farthest from the furnace barely had air coming from registers, and 18 years of crud accumulated in ducts.
Our superior agitation, high-powered suction cleaning systems got more ladybugs, dust, even original construction debris out of Steve's ducts than suction alone could.
Clean Living Environments AeroSeal duct sealing got more wasted energy off our energy bill as natural gas costs skyrocket.
Duct specialists block the vents and pressurized ducts, exposing leakage equivalent to a 90 square inch hole. After sealing, leakage is reduced to a 3-inch hole, a 94% reduction.
Our home has noticeably less dust. Air isn't getting sucked in through the basement and attic exposed duct pipe. Most incredibly, we get more air to rooms farthest from the furnace. Way more. See a video of this job at cleanlivingenvironments.com.
I personally guarantee the best price.
Yep.
Get more out of your ducts, cleanlivingenvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
Your home cleaning friend,
It's Edelman again. Edelman. Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Happy birthday, Wisconsin. 177 years young today, May 29th. 1848, Wisconsin officially became a state, and that sound you're hearing is the men and women who worked so hard for statehood rolling over in their graves at the fact that 177 years later, Democrats in the state legislature are trying to replace the word mother with person who gave birth and replace the concept of biological motherhood with natural parenthood. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. I still have not gotten a good explanation as to what the difference is between biological motherhood and natural motherhood. I think I understand the idea that you don't biologically have to give birth because, okay, you can have as many surgeries as you would like, gentlemen. You are never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to give birth. The machines will be given birth before the dudes are. I would trust Elon Musk to be able to have his company invent a humanoid robot in which we can implant a womb and grow. I've seen The Matrix. They have the fields where human beings are no longer born. We are grown. That's going to happen before they're able to implant a womb in a man. That, first of all, I think it is. Look, the idea that a man can lactate, menstruate, or give birth is delusion. It is honest to goodness delusion. And trying to get rid of the word biological, and I know why they're doing it. It's because they don't like the concept that human biology exists. For those who missed the first hour, Representative Amanda Nedweski, fantastic Republican on this issue. She's done it again. She was the one who actually tipped us off to Governor Evers replacing the word mother with inseminated person a couple of months ago. We broke that story and it went mega viral. I mean, this was an international, not outrage. Some people were outraged. I mean, I thought it was hilarious at how crazy these people really are. Well, Nedweski has done it again. She actually dove into the bill that Democrats introduced today in advance of Pride Month. They have a queer street preacher, transgender drag queen, sex and Bible expert to speak at their press conference this morning, wearing a charming priest's collar with a red sleeveless top and black beret. She was like a more beautiful version of Che Guevara. She was like a shaved Che Guevara with lipstick. That's who Mama Butt Cheeks was. I can't remember what she calls it. Scandalish. Mother Scandalish is her drag name. I'm just going to call her Mother Butt Cheeks because imagine my surprise when I went to her Instagram page looking for more doctrinal theology. I mean, she could have been at the Council of Nicaea. This is how brilliant this woman is when discussing scriptural nuance. And I see she has got a second Instagram account for Mother Scandalish, still wearing the priest's collar, by the way. Totally not an effort to mock religion, mock Catholicism, or anything like that. No. She is very respectful. And I saw her flipping off the camera in one of the pictures that she posted. And she apparently forgot to put on underwear. So I'm just going to call her Mother Butt Cheeks. You know, descriptive. But this is who Democrats, for their fundamentally unserious bill, they bring up a fundamentally unserious person. You have Representative Lee Snodgrass. Do you remember her? The snodberries taste like snodberries. She made international news basically for saying all your kid belong to us. She said, well, parents don't have any right. If you want to have a say in your kid's education, send them to private school. She gets up there and said, hi, my name is Lee Snodgrass. I'm a state senator. My pronouns are she, her. Yeah, no kidding. It would be newsworthy if you went by they, them, representative, senator, or whatever the hell she is. It's just, it's virtue signaling to truly crazy people. If you do not believe in the concept of biological male and biological female, and that you are a crazy person, you are someone who cannot be taken seriously in adult conversations. I'm sorry, you can't be. Everything else you say is immediately discarded. You fundamentally, it's like the left laughing at the flat earthers. Right? Well, how can you still, one of the single greatest posts in the history of Facebook was from the Flat Earth Society. And I still can't tell if this was satire or not. It was years and years ago. It was the Flat Earth Society has members all around the globe. Still one of the funniest things I have ever seen posted on Facebook. But liberals are mocking the flat earthers. They are the flat earthers of human biology. They are the flat earthers of the most basic thing that human beings learn. Like, one of the first things we learn as human beings is the distinct nature between boys and girls. Babies can recognize, infants, toddlers, recognize boys, girls. This idea, oh, well, the kid reached for a doll, we better trans him up. We can laugh at it and say, oh, look at how nuts and stupid and silly these people are. These are the people who are writing legislation right now. We are one midterm election away from these people controlling all three political branches. Hell, all three branches of government. They got the Supreme Court, they got the governor's mansion, and Robin Vos is basically the only bulwark standing in the way of these psychopaths running Wisconsin. Think about it. They introduced this legislation today. Wisconsin still is under a Republican Senate and a Republican legislature. They introduce it in 2027. Governor Evers signs that thing into law. We no longer have a legal definition of biological parenthood. The concept of motherhood in Wisconsin law is gone. Now, these may, who cares, Dan? These are distinct legal terms. These are distinct biological entities, a mother and a father, a female person and a male person. That is reality. It's about time Democrats start living in it. All right, we know you were busy. Well, when you were busy at work today, the Democrats in the state legislature were real busy exposing just how nuts they really are. But we understand that there's a lot of stuff that happens at the Trump White House that you aren't necessarily able to follow. And that's why we created our newest daily segment. It's a look at what was going on at the Trump White House in the Daily Trump Day.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
Well, a whole lot of winning for the Trump administration.
We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
The Trump administration did win a victory of sorts as an appeals court ruled this afternoon that the tariffs that President Trump announced on Liberation Day can remain in effect, while a district judge's ruling is working its way through the court system. Last night, a federal district judge ruled that President Trump did not have the authority to to issue those tariffs under a 1970s legislation bill law that authorizes the president to use tariffs in times of emergency, that it was in fact Congress that needed to step in. And the White House daily press briefing today, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt took square aim at that decision last night.
The president's rationale for imposing these powerful tariffs was legally sound and grounded in common sense. President Trump correctly believes that America cannot function safely long-term if we are unable to scale advanced domestic manufacturing capacity, have our own secure critical supply chains, and our defense industrial base is dependent on foreign adversaries. 3 judges of the U.S. Court of International Trade disagreed and brazenly abused their judicial power to usurp the authority of President Trump to stop him from carrying out the mandate that the American people gave him. These judges failed to acknowledge that the President of the United States has core foreign affairs powers and authority given to him by Congress to protect the United States economy and national security. Congress had created the National Emergency Act to provide the congressional framework to strike down improper IEEPA use. And any questions over whether President Trump improperly imposed these IEEPA tariffs were already adjudicated in Congress following Liberation Day. Congress firmly rejected an effort led by Senator Rand Paul and Democrats to terminate the president's reciprocal tariffs. The courts should have no role here.
We will get into this coming up in greater depth in just a second, the proper role of the courts, nationwide injunctions and the like, and the war that is being waged right in front of us by district courts and left-wing attorneys general, all working in conjunction to thwart President Trump's agenda, regardless of what the law actually says. Also, yesterday evening, Elon Musk announced that he is stepping away from Doge. It was always the plan that he was going to devote just about a 5-6 month stretch because he's got a whole bunch of companies to run, but he is stepping away. Today, Caroline Leavitt said the work of Doge will absolutely continue.
Well, the entire cabinet is involved. And I spoke to the president about it this morning, and the entire cabinet understands the need to cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. And each cabinet secretary at their respective agencies is committed to that. That's why they were working hand in hand with Elon Musk, and they'll continue to work with the respective Doge employees who have onboarded as political appointees at all of these agencies. So surely the mission of Doge will continue, and many Doge employees are now political appointees and employees of our government. And to the best of my knowledge, all of them intend to stay and continue this important work.
Toward that end, Doge cuts go before the House of Representatives next week. A number of them will be voted on, codified into law. As well as that, Secretary of State Marco Rubio today announced plans to do a dramatic overhaul of the State Department, shuttering or moving 400 different offices. It's being called the single biggest movement of the State Department since the Cold War. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your daily Trump Date. Now, as you heard Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt say, this is an unprecedented attack against an administration by the federal judiciary. We sort of outlined a couple of weeks ago just how severe this is, and Caroline said that today. Would you believe that since 1963, the idea that a district court can issue a nationwide injunction is a very recent one? It's only been since 1963. That is the first nationwide injunction to ever come from a district court. Would you believe that since then, more than half of the injunctions that were issued by district courts have been issued against the Trump administration?
Nationwide injunctions ordered against the first Trump administration, Trump 1.0, account for more than half of the injunctions issued in this country since 1963. And President Trump had more injunctions in one full month of office in February than Joe Biden had in 3 years.
How is that even possible? Because it's all part of a coordinated effort Not to restore or uphold the rule of law, but to simply stop Trump at every turn, because Democrats don't have the power to do so in either the House or the Senate. So they have turned to the courts. They are all conspiring with each other, and I can prove it. I'll do so next when the Dan O'Donnell Show returns. Stay tuned. More conservative thought, not just talk, is on the way.
From the Lynch Truck Center in Waterford, Total Traffic Center.
25 minutes southbound, 4145 from Good Hope to the Zoo. 35 southbound on 43 between Brown Deer and the Marquette. Racine County, solid northbound on 4194, Highway 11 to Highway 20 with a crash in the 3 left lanes. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Blindster.com's Memorial Day sale is on. Save up to 50% site-wide. As a family-owned business, we make custom blinds, shades, and shutters designed to fit your windows and your life. Hurry! The sale ends May 29th, only at Blindster.com.
The city.
Las Vegas.
Vegas, make some noise!
The event.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Live. Welcome. One stage.
2 nights. The biggest stars in music return this September.
To make history.
The world's biggest artists are taking this stage.
Stream live only on Hulu.
I said, woo! Listen right here as the star-studded lineup is revealed.
Tuesday morning.
At 7.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. Mom and Dad own Cut and Go Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. American patriots will enjoy a 5% discount for flying the American flag and mentioning this commercial when the Cut and Go remote control, automobile mounted, articulated crane, grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. And all Americans CutandGoTrees.com. That's CutandGoTrees.com.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I'm Larry Brinkman, president of Dornbrook Construction. For 27 years, Wisconsin's premier ACI certified concrete company. Dornbrook sounds more professional because we are. Concrete is ideal as a base for massive industrial machinery, is the most economic material footing for your home, and makes a lasting solid driveway or floor. Dornbrook Construction has installed concrete in every industrial and commercial setting from the Milwaukee Airport to Campbell's Soup. Standing behind the concrete Wisconsin businesses and residents stand on, Dornbrook Construction. DornbrookConstruction.com.
Academic Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at ACCUNET.com.
Miners, a family tradition since 1949. For real selection, locally grown and guaranteed to grow, it's Miners. Make your gardening easier than ever when all your gardening needs are in one place. Miners Garden Center, 76th, just north of Good Hope.
The storm chasers are circling. It's Jay, and you'll probably encounter them given the recent severe weather here. I've gotten a few calls just because hail dropped in my area. But if your roof is damaged, understand that they'll be gone and into the next town, and you'll be out of luck when you need warranty work done or aren't satisfied with their job. Some of them also try to pressure you into signing a contract on the spot. It's better to go with Semper Fi, a trusted local roofer whose business model is literally, will be that standout company. Semper Fi offers a fast, free, 21-point roof inspection and estimate world-class customer service, and skilled installation by trained and tested work crews. They also offer a 15-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install, and yes, Semperfi works with all insurance companies. This is the roof on your home. It's too important to take a chance on a roving roofer. Call Semperfi Roofing today, 262-600-2910. That's 262-600-2910, or go online to semperfiroofing.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules. All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference. The most accurate, complete news about Milwaukee every hour, every day. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
In order to understand the massive increase in nationwide injunctions that invariably liberal district courts have filed against the Trump administration, you need to understand the close coordination between Democrats in Congress, state attorneys general, and an army of Democrat plaintiffs' attorneys who are working together not to keep the Trump administration from doing anything unconstitutional. In fact, they fully expect, especially on issues related to immigration, and this is the area on which most of these are focused. Most of these injunctions, most of these orders are focused, stopping Trump's immigration agenda. They expect to lose. They expect once the merits of the case are heard that they're going to lose on the merits. The president has remarkable authority to deport whomever it is he sees fit. Do you know the only person he shares that authority with? The Secretary of State, who reports directly to the president. If the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, or the President, Donald Trump, determine any person or class of persons in this country they can to be a threat to national security or to be undesirable in pretty much any way, they can be gone. That's the power that they have, repeatedly upheld by acts of Congress. Most recently, the Immigration Act of 1996. Democrats know this. They're suing anyway because they know that it'll take years to litigate to get before the Supreme Court, if it ever gets before the Supreme Court. In the interim, judges will just issue temporary injunctions that have nationwide effect. And this is a relatively new thing, as we said. They'll have nationwide effect, so the Trump administration can't do what it wants to do while the case is being litigated. The Court of Appeals that just this afternoon issued a ruling saying, no, that you can't just have an injunction. You can challenge the president's constitutional authority to unilaterally issue tariffs under IEEPA, which is a law from the 70s that gives the president emergency powers because tariffs are typically, those are in the Constitution reserved. Those are the domain of the Congress. The Congress has that power. And in order for the president to get tariffs enacted, he has to go to the Congress. And there's a very good reason for this, because we don't want tariffs, no tariffs every 4 years, theoretically, when a new president is elected. We want to have some certainty in international relationships. It's the same thing, the congressional oversight of treaties. President Trump is saying, look, it is a national emergency that we don't have control over the supply chain, that we need to manufacture necessary national defense, health, things that we need, and we are dependent instead upon our greatest adversary in the world, China, for this manufacture. We need these tariffs to bring this manufacturing back. He is also simultaneously claiming that we need this revenue because we do have a national emergency in terms of our debt and deficit. That, I think, is every bit as good an argument. But the White House is saying, look, Congress has the power to vote, nope, we don't want this tariff to take place. They declined to do that. Ergo, the tariff takes place. The court system has no business in this dispute, that this is a separation of powers issue between the Congress and the president. But you have to ask yourself, how is it that these lawsuits are just bang, 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 all ready to go? Why, it's almost like Democrats are meeting in secret with all of the major players and have been for months, just readying their new form of lawfare against Donald Trump. California Congresswoman Laura Friedman spilled the beans in one of her town halls that happened to be televised by C-SPAN back on April 15th.
Every single week, we have a litigation working group where a large group of us, and I'm talking there's maybe 75 members of the House, sit down every single week with the AGs to talk about legal strategy. This is all going on every single week behind the scenes. It is nonstop talk, nonstop introduction of bills and legislation, nonstop being on social media as much as we can without being throttled and without the crazy analytics, and doing all these things.
You heard a Democrat nut try to interrupt her there. She was saying we have secret meetings every single week where we are talking about nothing but stopping the Trump agenda through lawfare. Now, you might be saying, okay, Dan, that's all well and good. You need the judges to be in on it, though, too. It's not as though Democrats intentionally installed hundreds of judges just within the past year with the specific instructions of thwarting Trump's agenda should he become president. Right? That couldn't have happened. Oh, wait. March 19th, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says that's exactly what they did in the last year of Joe Biden's presidency.
Our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time. And we hope that the appellate courts, when it gets up there in the Supreme Court, will uphold those rulings. They restored the money to NIH. They required that 8,000 federal employees have to come back. We're in over 100 lawsuits against them, and we are having a good deal of success. It's only at the lower court level right now.
Because they could only get lower court judges installed. Conservatives still have control, at least we think they have control, 6-3 of the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court clearly needs to step in. This is beyond out of control. This has nothing to do with legitimate constitutional questions presented by presidential action. None of what the closest thing to an open question about whether or not President Trump is constitutionally allowed to do something is, in fact, the tariff question, because Congress is specifically authorized, and it depends upon how the Supreme Court would read what actually is a national emergency. I would argue that being wholly dependent on China for the supply chain that powers our military, when at any point, if China declares war on the United States, that supply chain is shut off and we are screwed, I would argue that that would qualify as a national emergency. Not only the fact that that exists, we also have the possibility that Social Security goes insolvent, that it goes unfunded as soon as 2030, 2028. The deficit has gone completely out of control. The national debt has been unsustainable for decades, but ever since COVID-19, and this is why I support Senator Johnson in trying to get a much better version of that one big beautiful bill that doesn't have a whole lot of big beautiful pork projects included in it, because we have a debt bomb. And the added revenue from tariffs may well be necessary to stave off fiscal Armageddon. I don't know if you've noticed, but for about the last 15 years, we haven't had federal budgets in this country. We've been governed by continuing resolutions, by funding mechanisms that were never designed to be a permanent governmental structure. And it's because we're doing this, we don't have the ability as citizens of this country to have a real say in what it is our representatives are voting for, what we're funding with our tax dollars, because it's always hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. We're hitting this fiscal cliff. We're hitting that fiscal cliff. Oh, we're going to hit a debt limit. Well, it's because we no longer have the ability to pass budgets. I would qualify that, the fact that we have practically doubled our national debt in just the past handful of years, as a massive emergency. We'll get into some of the substance of that, plus much more. You're listening to Conservative Thought, not just talk. It's the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Keep in touch with Dan on Twitter at Dan O'Donnell Show. More of the show is next.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Northbound 4194 down at Highway 20. A couple left lanes blocked with ongoing crash cleanup. Northbound on the Rock Freeway at the Hale interchange, you got an accident block in the right lane. Southbound 894 at Oklahoma, another block in the right lane. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Blindster.com's Memorial Day sale is on. Save up to 50% site-wide. As a family-owned business, we make custom blinds, shades, and shutters designed to fit your windows and your life. Hurry! The sale ends May 29th, only at Blindster.com.
Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you in Waukesha, Milwaukee, Muskego, Brookfield, Heartland, Cedarburg, and their Waukesha Fleet and Specialty location. If you have a business with a multi-vehicle fleet, Mander is the place to go, because their team understands you can't have a vehicle out of service for a while, so they work quickly and efficiently to get you back on the road and serving your customers as fast as possible through expedited fleet repairs. Mander has been serving their customers and their community for well over 20 years, and they know that the key is expert workmanship and fast turnaround times, combined with the sort of customer service that you'll only find at a family-owned local business like Mander. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com and find out for yourself why Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. Telling an arresting officer about your child's good grades, scouting achievement, or your child being influenced by friends is helping to convict your child. You're not going to talk the police officer out of a DUI, drug charge, or any charge. You will be helping them prosecute and convict your child. There are likely many opportunities to challenge and beat your child's charges, but none of them involve you explaining anything to the police. Call my award-winning team of former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com. That's GrieveLaw.com.
One of the things I loved about Holiday Mazda when I bought my SUV, the price was extremely competitive and also clearly marked, totally transparent. When you're dealing with friendly, knowledgeable people who are also straight shooters, you know what that does? It builds trust. Hey, it's Jerry Bott. I trust Holiday, and so will you.
With summer near, the time is right to get here, get more, and drive inspired in a new Mazda from Holiday. During the Spring Forward sales event, well-qualified buyers can lock in rates as low as 1.9% on top of our low simplified price on Mazda favorites, including the off-road ready Mazda CX-50, 2-row Mazda CX-70, and 3-row Mazda CX-90 with standard all-wheel drive. Connect with us, get more for your trade, and enjoy all the ways that Team Holiday makes car shopping fun, simple, and pressure-free. Find yours and drive it home today from Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 Fond du Lac, and at holidaymazda.com.
It's worth the trip.
I'm Victor Harding, a true trial attorney at Warshevsky Law. You've heard our advertising for years. While it's been effective introducing Warshevsky to injured people in need of maximum judgments and settlements, most of our clients come from personal referral. Referrals from former clients grateful for the settlement or trial judgment Warshevsky won on their behalf. Thus, they're recommending us to friends and family. Referrals from people in the community, including other lawyers and judges who want to make sure their friends and family are taken care of. Still not sure? Ask around. Warshevsky is referred by Wisconsin law enforcement officers who've seen Warshevsky attorneys in action, desperate to make sure friends and family receive just compensation. Insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family members hurt in accidents. They know the work we do. They all refer Warshevsky because, big case or small, we can help. If someone you love is injured, please let them know, because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
Managed IT support from Central Office Systems is qualified technicians. Answering your call within 1 minute. Grateful to support your business. Solving any IT problem as fast as humanly possible. Network security, network support. CentralOfficeSystems.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
111 East Kilbourne, Milwaukee. CordellCordell.com.
iHeartRadio's got you covered for the summer. Sail on with commercial-free weekends on Yacht Rock Radio. Roll down the windows for road trips with summer playlists like Summer Classics. Or just escape into a podcast. Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
Critical events drive critical times, and these are the times to learn critical lessons. Recent events should teach us that the struggle for liberty is ongoing, and forces that are misguided or sinister stand at the ready to take our liberties away. At News Talk 1130 WISN, we are dedicated to identifying the risks to our freedoms as they arise and to alert you to those risks, valuing our liberties and our rights. This is News Talk 1130 WISN. News that's factual, fair, and balanced from people you can trust on News Talk 1130 WISN.
What is the problem, liberals ask, with district judges issuing nationwide injunctions? If the Trump administration is doing something that is so uniquely horrible, that is so uniquely unconstitutional, as they suppose everything he does to be, wouldn't we want it stopped, or at least temporarily paused while it goes through the court system? Isn't that something you might want? I would answer that by saying none of what Trump, up until the question about the tariffs, which I think is a valid constitutional challenge. The appellate court was right in pausing this injunction because no one's rights are going to be harmed. If anything, we're going to be taking in several $1 billion every couple of weeks, if not every couple of days, while the question is settled. Also, I think this is a signal that the Trump administration, which immediately appealed last night's ruling, that it's very likely to succeed on the merits. These aren't issues that are really in doubt by anyone. Can Trump unilaterally use his power to enforce the nation's borders? Yes, he can. Can he unilaterally get people out of here through deportations? By the way, Stephen Miller said last night that he wants to dramatically increase deportations. Did you hear this? Do we have the soundbite? Producer, yeah, thank you very much. Stephen Miller last night on Hannity says their goal, 3,000 deportations a day.
Under President Trump's leadership, we are looking to set a goal of a minimum of 3,000 arrests for ICE every day. And President Trump is going to keep pushing to get that number up higher each and every single day so we can get all of the Biden illegals that were flooded into our country for 4 years out of our country. And we can't take the risk of letting these Biden illegals roam around freely so that the next American daughter can get raped, the next American kid can get murdered, the next American family can get splintered and torn apart by people that came into this country unchecked, uncontrolled, unvetted, uninvited by the American people.
And here's the thing. Coming into this country illegally is a crime. What does the executive branch at its most basic function do? Execute, right? Not people who are coming into this country illegally. Faithfully execute the laws, meaning enforce them. President has near total power to enforce illegal entry. Re-entry after deportation. If you have a valid deportation order, that's it. You're out. Gone. Boom. Done. Pretending otherwise is to insert the judiciary where the judiciary does not belong. Now you might say, well, Dan, the Supreme Court is supposed to act as a check on the president and determine what is and isn't constitutional. That's right. The Supreme Court. Take a wild guess how many district court judges there are in the United States of America. Federal district court judges. 677. If each one of them has the power to issue a nationwide injunction against anything the President of the United States does, then each one of them has veto power. And we don't have one president. Remember, all of the power of the executive branch vests not in the bureaucracy, not in the cabinet secretaries, not in the undersecretaries, but in one person, the President of the United States. If district court judges are allowed to have veto power over anything and anything the president does, then we don't have one president. We have 678 of them. One that goes before the people every 4 years, and the people decide. There is one person, there is one race where every single person in America votes, and that's the President of the United States. But Democrats are asserting that there are 677 other presidents who are equal in their ability to stop or to coerce the president to do something that they want. They're never elected. They never go before the people. And they have power equal to that of the President of the United States. Is that what the framers of the Constitution envisioned? Of course not. That's what's known as the tyranny of the judiciary. The only court that was ever envisioned to have the power of orders that would take effect nationwide is the United States Supreme Court. In fact, that is the only federal court ever actually mentioned or set up by the Constitution. Everything else, the federal judiciary, do you know the number of judges is actually set up by an act of Congress signed by the president? But yet you're saying that one of those 677 has the power to, just by writing an order, stop or force the president to start any action that he or she well pleases. That is a perversion of constitutional governance. We've got to step aside for a break. When we come back, we name the unsung hero of the day right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
From the Lynch Buick GMC of West Bend Total Traffic Center.
Slammed on southbound 43, Capital to the Marquette, down to 4394, all the way down to Howard. 94 eastbound tight 84th to pass the stadium. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Blindster.com's Memorial Day sale is on. Save up to 50% site-wide. As a family-owned business, we make custom blinds, shades, and shutters designed to fit your windows and your life. Hurry! The sale ends May 29th, only at Blindster.com.
Do you have a written financial plan? Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We have recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative Planning allows us to provide more comprehensive wealth management services to help with all aspects of your finances, including your investments, taxes, estate plan, and more. If you already have a plan or if you need to start planning, our fiduciary advisors can help. Visit creativeplanning.com to get started. That's creativeplanning.com.
When Flawless Flooring installs luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, modern laminate, or carpeting, I personally guarantee your satisfaction with every step from shopping through installation. I'm Flawless Flooring's president, Dave Brownsdorf, and I approve this message. Sensory Underload Flawless Flooring. FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
I'm Total Health's Jay Johnson. The Falls and New Berlin. Additives, chemicals, and toxins in your diet can miswire the way your genes express themselves. Food is critical for health. Increased energy, better sleep, reversing chronic disease. A healthier, happier, pain-free you is simple. Schedule your free Total Health consult. Holistic health coaches will guide you to a healthier, happier, truly you. Seed oils, the #1 source of calories in American diets, were developed as fuel in industrial lubricants. Seed oils cause dozens of chronic illnesses. Big Healthcare's solution to nutritional-related illness is their same solution to all health-related problems. Drugs that also alter the way your genes express themselves, leaving root causes making you increasingly sick over time. What they never tell is eliminate seed oils from your diet, and cutting back on sugar will immediately improve your health. It's true. Total Health finds root causes of sickness, including nutritional deficiencies, then helps you, the whole complete you, achieve wellness. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com. That's TotalHealthInc.com.
There are only a handful of carpet cleaning companies in the country who guarantee results, and we're one of them. It's no wonder why we're Wisconsin's most trusted carpet cleaner.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman. If your home needs new roofing, siding, windows, or doors, then call my friends at Weather Pro Exteriors. You see, big remodeling projects like these require a reliable contractor, and homeowners across Wisconsin trust Weather Pro Exteriors as they only use the highest quality building materials and certified professional installers. Call today and receive $1,000 off a full roof replacement plus a $200 Quick Trip gift card. Schedule today at weatherproexteriors.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Bullet points.
I'm Eben Brown. Another state says its legislature is allowed to ban high-capacity magazines. Washington State Supreme Court rules that magazines holding 10 or more rounds aren't protected under the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment. The opinion of Washington State's top court is that magazines aren't arms as generally thought, but merely an accessory to a firearm. The case involves a Washington State-based business, Gator Custom Guns, and their alleged non-compliance with the state's ban on magazines holding more than 10 rounds, as they still had the item for sale. Lawyers from the Silent Majority Foundation representing the business argued that, among other things, the semi-automatic firearms require the magazine to hold and help feed the ammunition. The ruling from the Washington High Court was 7-2. Now the Silent Majority Foundation is weighing options to make a federal case. And those are your bullet points. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
WISN.
Big taxers, big spenders, political cronies, global warming alarmists, charlatans, liars, scam artists, and feeders at the public trough. The threats to your happiness are many, but that's where we can help. News Talk 1130 WISN. Our truth shall keep you free. Classical conservatism. Contemporary style. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
I know producer Jeff, the most metal talk radio producer in the game, is waiting for this week's episode of Forgotten History. It is the power of music to, in a very literal way, save lives. I'm just telling you, I am really proud of this one. It was a lot of fun to produce. It was a lot of fun to write. And it really is a touching story about salvation coming from the perhaps least likely source in rock and roll music. That is coming up about 5:20-ish. Forgotten History. Coming up tomorrow, I want to remind you, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. He is the director of the National Institutes for Health. He is going to be a guest in the 4 o'clock hour right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. You are not going to want to miss this. We're going to talk about the COVID vaccine. We are going to talk about the recent decision to remove a whole lot of dyes from the American food supply. We are going to talk about the MAHA movement, the most comprehensive report on children's health that had been released in quite some time from the Department of Health Services. Don't look now, but Bobby Kennedy Jr. is right up there with Marco Rubio, I dare say Tom Homan, and Scott Bessent for MVP of the Trump administration. Right now, I think you pretty much got to give it to Marco Rubio, right? I mean, he's director of USAID. He's Secretary of State. He's like single-handedly negotiating like 4 different peace treaties, Hamas and Israel, Ukraine and Russia, India and Pakistan. I mean, the guy I think he's doing 4 different jobs on an interim basis, in addition to being Secretary of State. There are already people talking that a Vance Rubio ticket in 2028 would be pretty doggone formidable. Formidable. I wanted to sound so dramatic there. It would be formidable. And then all of a sudden I lost the ability to speak. A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, I am a professional. I do get paid to do this. Time to name the unsung hero of the day, presented by Blue Line Cleaning Services, residential and commercial cleaning done by professionals. Today's unsung hero of the day is Wisconsin State Representative Amanda Nedweski. She has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. She was the one who first tipped me off back in February about Governor Evers replacing the word mother with inseminated person in state statute, or at least attempting to. It became a viral craze. This was an international story. It all started with her. Ladies and gentlemen, she and her staff have done it again. They actually looked into the 160-plus page LGBTQIA plus minus ampersand $ bill that Democrats introduced today and found that it replaces the word mother with person who gave birth or some variation thereof no fewer than 370 times. I actually looked even closer at that bill and found out that they replace the word biological mother or biological father 47 times and replace it with natural parent. They are literally trying to get rid of the concept of biological motherhood and biological fatherhood in the Wisconsin state statutes. That's a big deal. And it would have never even been noticed, perhaps, without the hard work of Representative Amanda Nedweski and her staff. They are your unsung heroes of the day. Coming up next, what is it about the libs in Milwaukee that they keep wanting to tear down freeways? We'll dive into that, plus another filing in the Hannah Dugan case and forgotten history. It's all straight ahead here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Listen to Clay and Buck weekdays 11 to 2 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee, and make WISN the number one preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Michaels. We now know the name of the high school baseball coach in St. Francis who was fired from his job after he was arrested over the weekend. Fox 6's Carl Dethenbaugh.
The school superintendent told us that the investigation involves JV coach Jeff Worrell. He was booked into the county jail on Sunday, brought in by Milwaukee police for accusations of repeated sexual assault of a child.
And House Republicans continue to demand answers from members of the Biden administration about the former president's alleged cognitive decline.
Lawyers for Dr. Kevin O'Connor and the 4 aides the House Oversight Committee wants to sit for a transcribed interview have reached out to the committee, but nothing has been scheduled yet. Chairman James Comer on Fox's The Faulkner Focus.
This physician, Dr. O'Connor, he continued to give reports saying he was mentally fit and in perfect health. Now we know otherwise.
In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Checking the Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard. Brewers have the day off today. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
A few spotty rain showers this evening, temperatures dropping into the 50s. Wildfire smoke in our skies on Friday with a few midday rain showers and afternoon strong thunderstorms possible with a high of 77. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Grandview buys homes, and if you have a loved one's home that you need to sell, Grandview will make that process simple, fast, and stress-free. Grandview Homes will give you a no-obligation fair cash offer in as little as 24 hours, whether it's your home, a loved one's home, a rental, a vacant, or a second home. We buy all homes completely as is. No repairs whatsoever. Take just the belongings you wish to keep and leave the stress and the mess to us. Sell your home as is today. GrandviewHomes.com.
An auction to sell your house? And it includes a 2.99% full service MLS listing? Come on. Put simply, the absolute best way to sell your home is a Redefined Realty MLS listing enhanced by the EasyHomeBidder.com auction bidding platform. You get max profits and minimal contingencies. Buyers and sellers both love winning at auction. Traditional real estate agents put houses on MLS, then talk sellers into accepting offers. It's always been done that way. While buyers can still make a traditional offer, auctions powered by EasyHomeBidder.com allow every interested party to compete for your home through MLS and at auction on your terms. Sellers never lose a penny again. Dorothy's Ruby slippers would not have sold for $28 million without an auction. Similarly, the maximum price of your home will only be achieved at auction. Traditional real estate agents sell ordinary MLS services. Redefines mentors of winning, enhance the home selling process combining auction and MLS. RedefinedRealty.com. Buyers win, sellers win. Real estate's future is now. Real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
I'm Dan Voss from Cut and Go. Ugly and depressing and trees killed off by emerald ash, oak wilt, and Dutch elm disease are dangerous for friends and loved ones, even a potential liability. Slowly rotting, left-standing hardwood trees can weigh tens of thousands of pounds. Even seemingly smaller branches can weigh tens, even hundreds of pounds. With Cut and Go, there is no reason to risk injury or property damage. Live trees in precarious placement for an arborist to remove over homes, garages, commercial buildings, luxury landscapes are easily and safely laid on the ground by Cut and Go's NCCER are crane-operated, certified, remote control, automobile-mounted articulating crane grapple saw operators. You can save big money and stock up on firewood by having Cut and Go put your trees on the ground for you to clean up or have a bonfire or split firewood. Or we can take it all with us when we leave. A Tons of Trees movement. cutandgotrees.com. That's CUTNGO trees.com. Once again, that's cutandgotrees.com.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
News Talk 1130 WISN. Go-Wall Investment Group, now Creative Planning, is a registered investment advisor. Now for your business report from Creative Planning. For informational purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.
Good afternoon. This is Tom Krieger with your afternoon business report. Major averages edged higher today, but gains were restricted as investors remained cautious after a U.S. trade court ruling blocked President Trump's reciprocal tariffs, but were then reinstated by an appeals court. Meanwhile, shares of NVIDIA rose 3% after the company's fiscal first quarter results beat Wall Street's estimates on the top and bottom lines with year-over-year growth of 73%, even as NVIDIA sales took a hit from U.S. semiconductor export restrictions to China. At the close, the Dow was up 117, S&P 500 up 23, and the NASDAQ up 74. From Creative Planning, I'm Tom Krieger.
Well, it took a while, almost a decade, but Dems have come around to the idea that someone in power can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. In this case, Hannah Dugan believes she should be allowed to be able to shoot somebody in her courtroom and get away with it because in her courtroom, she enjoys absolute immunity. This was just filed by her attorneys earlier today. They are actually citing the President Trump immunity ruling in their filing. President Trump claimed that he had immunity from prosecution for doing things that are well within the scope of the role of president, doing the job of president, right? He said, remember, and he was not charged in the January 6th case. He was not charged with inciting a violent riot because he very clearly said, now we are going to go peaceably march to the Capitol and make our voices heard. If he was saying, hey, let's go tear bleep up, probably wouldn't have used the word peaceably. He was actually charged with demanding an investigation into the 2020 presidential election. He's the head of the Justice Department. He can demand an investigation into any damn thing he wants. We'll get into that in just a second. 414-799-1130, 1-800-838-9476 if you would like to join us on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Coming up later this hour, Forgotten History, how a rock music video quite literally saved lives. We will get to that story, latest edition of Forgotten History. Right now, we are about an hour into a listening session that the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, in collaboration with the Federal Highway Administration, the City of Milwaukee, and Milwaukee County are having on the I-794 Lake Interchange study. This is at the Milwaukee Marriott downtown, started at 4 p.m. and will go until 7 p.m. Do you know what the 794 Lake Interchange study is studying? Whether we're gonna rip that sucker down. Milwaukee, which famously tore down highway in 1989, It was the first city in America. We had rapid expansion from the development of the freeway system, the interstate highway system in the 1950s, all the way through the 1980s. Freeways kept going up because they were incredibly valuable. They got people anywhere they wanted to go in a fraction of the time that it would take them to get there. Milwaukee was the first, and to my knowledge still, is the only city to willingly tear down a massive stretch of freeway. I say willingly because a part would get damaged and damaged beyond repair, and they'd have no choice, but they'd need to tear it down. That has happened before. Mayor John Norquist got it in his stupid, adulterous head that he was going to tear down the freeway. What was the reason given? For those of us of a certain age who remember that, well, it would spur all sorts of economic development. It did. Like 20 years later, it wasn't until the Fiserv Forum went up that the area where the freeway used to be was transformed from a barren moonscape. It was nothing. Nothing. There was no development on it for almost 20 years. And then finally, the land was sold to the Bucks for $1, and they built the Deer District, they built Fiserv Forum, there was development. It had nothing to do with the freeway being torn down. It had to do with the fact that there was essentially free land that was given out. Now, the anti-freeway folks are back. The ghost of John Norquist, I don't know if Marilyn Figueroa is with him. He's still alive, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know why I said he's a ghost. The specter of John Norquist has returned. The urban planners are convinced that all that is wrong with the city of Milwaukee can be fixed if we just tear down 794, which will take you from the Marquette interchange to the lake. They want the freeway, in other words, to just stop. Now, it's almost June, almost Pride Month. In Milwaukee, June is known as the month of what? Summerfest. Massive amounts of people for 3 consecutive weekends head down to that exact area. What is a primary way that they get down there? The freeway flyer. Milwaukee County buses that are dedicated to transporting people to and from Summerfest throughout the 9 days of the festival. Those who don't take the freeway flyer also take the freeway to get down there. But Dan, that's only 9 days out of 365. Why can't we tear down the freeway to have better walkability and to have better connection between neighborhoods? This is the argument that they always say. We're going to have more development, which was disproven by the last time that we tore down freeway in the late 1980s, and the land sat barren and desolate for 2 decades. And they say, well, this will create more community. They have no earthly idea how much this will cost. We're simultaneously going to expand 94 west and east and also tear down freeway. Sounds not ideal. In addition to pretty much the entire area being inaccessible for years, when the freeway infrastructure is torn down, I actually question how the hell you would even do it safely. Can you imagine the cost? This isn't a freeway like the last stretch that we tore down where there was nothing there before or after it was torn down. This freeway goes right over like the Milwaukee public market. It goes over some of the busiest streets in downtown Milwaukee. To say nothing about how congested traffic would be if you don't have any artery into or out of the city. Just think of the astronomical cost. I'm sorry, is this not a city and a county that were pleading poverty just a couple of years ago? They needed much more shared revenue. Now they're going to all chip in to tear down freeway. We're not talking about a couple month closure where it's a pain in the butt and, I've got to take an alternate route. We're talking a major part of Milwaukee shut down for years while freeway is demolished overhead. Not only that, there are businesses and there are apartments, there are condos, there are homes underneath. What happens to those people while the freeway is torn down? Has anybody even bothered to ask them? Because it seems to me it's the people who live far away from the affected area. It's the people out in, River West? It's the people over on Brady Street. Yes, tear down that freeway. So I have a restaurant that is right in the hot zone. What do you suggest I do? Half of downtown Milwaukee will be completely inaccessible for, I'm just throwing a ballpark number out, 2 to 3 years minimum. It took do you remember what bridge was that? Where it took probably 4 years to replace a bridge in Milwaukee, and every business that had been on or near that bridge shut down because they just couldn't, they couldn't reopen. You're telling me the city of Milwaukee, county of Milwaukee, state of Wisconsin, and federal government, all known for being real fast workers on construction and demolition projects, they're going to be able to tear down freeway that is, how many feet high would you say that freeway is, that stretch of freeway, I-794, above downtown Milwaukee? 60 feet? Oh, I think it's higher than that. I would have gone 100 feet in the air, minimum. It's right near the Marquette interchange. You're going to have to tear down all of that. Because remember, they don't want freeway going through downtown. They want the only entrance to downtown Milwaukee to be at the courthouse. That's the closest you're going to be able to go. You just aren't going to be able to go east. You can go north and you can go south, and that's it. You can go south out of town, you can go north out of town, and you've got a couple of exits by the courthouse, by the Fiserv Forum. But if you want to go east, if you want to get to Bradford Beach, if you want to get to Lincoln Memorial Boulevard, if you want to get to anything, you suddenly not got an option. Or you could take the city streets when eventually those are allowed to reopen after the massive demolition and rebuilding project is done. But until then, just imagine what Summerfest is going to look like the years that the freeway is being demolished. This is one of the stupidest ideas, truly stupidest, least thought through ideas in a long history of stupid, not thought through ideas in the city of Milwaukee. This thing makes the HOP, the streetcar system, look like a moment of inspiration from Tom Barrett. And let's not even talk about the people who are so hell-bent on destroying this because I guess they want to just trap people in Milwaukee. They're also environmentalists, right? What sort of environmental impact are we going to have with cranes and bulldozers and trucks running nonstop for years on something that we really don't need to do? Have we thought about that? Or is pollution not a concern when we're destroying something we don't like? The chief concern I have is this is a massive project. I'm not even convinced it's possible, frankly, without deep disruption of everyday life for a long time. And the cost has got to be just absolutely astronomical. There is a reason that no other city even contemplates this idiocy. When we come back, Forgotten History, the song and music video that literally saved kids' lives. You're not going to want to miss this, and it's coming up next.
From the Lynch GM Superstore in Burlington Total Traffic Center.
Got a stalled vehicle at the zoo interchange on the 94 westbound ramp to 4145 northbound. Stay on the left side of that ramp. 4145 northbound. After that, heavy from Watertown Plank up to Silver Spring. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Blindster.com's Memorial Day sale is on. Save up to 50% site-wide. As a family-owned business, we make custom blinds, shades, and shutters designed to fit your windows and your life. Hurry, the sale ends May 29th, only at Blindster.com.
The city.
Las Vegas.
Vegas, make some noise!
The event.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Live. Welcome. One stage.
2 nights. The biggest stars in music return this September.
To make history.
The world's biggest artists are taking this stage.
Stream live only on Hulu.
I said, woo!
Listen right here as the star-studded lineup is revealed.
Tuesday morning
at 7.
Dan, back to tell you about my brand new friends at Weather Pro Exteriors. They are a local family-owned and operated business. And if your home needs new roofing, new siding, windows, doors, you need to call them right now. Big remodeling projects like these, they're not always so simple. It's good to have a reliable contractor you can count on. And homeowners really across the entire state trust Weather Pro Exteriors. They'll deliver the highest quality products and best customer service. It's going to be time soon, right? To repair or replace your roof, to upgrade your windows, to replace your siding, to do those things that you've been putting off for quite a while. Don't put them off any longer. Call the company Milwaukee has trusted for decades. And if you do right now, you'll get $1,000 off a full roof replacement and a $200 quick trip gift card. Schedule your free project estimate right now at weatherproexteriors.com.
Our home sure feels empty now that the kids are gone. Maybe it's time to start thinking about a new home in a size that fits our life. With Belinsky Condos, we'll get peace of mind without sacrificing amenities. Plus, accessibility features like the no-step garage entry and wide hallways allow us to live comfortably today and 10 years from now. Visit Belinsky.com to learn more.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
This time of year can be tough on a number of areas in your home. This is Dan O'Donnell, and if you're struggling with any electrical issues, I recommend the superheroes at Current Electric. Chuck Smith, a Brookfield Central grad, started Current Electric over 40 years ago. His mission was to serve our community with integrity and quality, and has done that at Current Electric. If you need something as small as an outlet or switch repair or a whole home rewiring, call on the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes, a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF, and see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the Annex Wealth Management Studios. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. WISN listeners are wise, enlightened, engaged, and have impeccably good taste. Thank you for making us Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN. Conservative thought, not just talk. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Each Thursday evening here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, we tell you the stories of the red, the white, and the blue that you might not have heard in history class, but that are the inspirational tales that make us the great people we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Forgotten History. Rock and roll is the quintessential form of American music, freewheeling, hard-charging, and fiercely independent. But rock and roll can have a softer side too, and out of that can come nothing short of salvation. This is the forgotten history of the runaway train. Dave was a punk rocker who played fast, played loud, and played to numb the pain he was feeling inside. He had played so loud, he feared, that he had destroyed his hearing. Music was his life, and if he didn't have it, he wasn't sure he wanted to live. He felt like he was having a nervous breakdown, and for the first time since he started making music, he felt like he needed to get away from the noise. But he still needed music, so he picked up an old acoustic guitar and started playing. Not fast and loud, but quietly and thoughtfully. The songs flowed out of him, and so did the lyrics, a sort of self-reflective therapy about his depression that he could only express through his music. He was a runaway train, headed the wrong way down a one-way track, and although he knew he should be getting somewhere, he needed to change his life's direction, or he would remain where he was, neither here nor there. It was poetry, and it was something Dave Pirner had never written before, something his band Soul Asylum had never recorded before. A power ballad. It was different, but Dave was sure it was going to be their biggest hit. And more importantly than that, he was sure it would change lives. And almost as soon as it was recorded, it did. Runaway train, never going back. Long way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. The song reached the top of the charts across the globe as people responded to its universal message of both desperation and hope. But once the band released a music video for it, Runaway Train didn't just change lives, it saved them. The video's director, Tony Kaye, was known for infusing his work with socially relevant messaging. And when he saw a poster on the side of the road of a milk carton with a missing child's face on it, he called Dave right away to share his idea. Interspersed with the video's story and shots of the band playing, they would feature the faces of missing kids and the dates they were last seen. They called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, who were happy to share names and pictures. And at the end of the video, Dave looked right into the camera and instructed viewers to call the center's hotline if they had seen any of the kids featured. At first, no one did, and MTV called to ask the band to change the video. It was a huge hit for the network, but since it was in such heavy rotation, executives wanted more visual appeal than depressing photos of missing children. But then one of them was found and returned home safe. Elizabeth Wiles, a teenager who had run away from home to be with her much older boyfriend, saw herself in the video, realized how much her family missed her, and called her mom. A short time later, another child featured in the video came home. Then another, and another, and another. In all, the runaway train video was responsible for 21 missing children being reunited with their families. What started as an ode to Dave Perner's depression instead became, thanks to Tony Kaye's vision, a timeless illustration of the power of music to quite literally save people.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Got a stalled vehicle at the Zoo interchange on the 94 westbound ramp to 4145 northbound. Stay on the left side of that ramp. 4145 northbound. After that, heavy from Watertown Plank up to Silver Spring. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Club Car Wash and ClubCarWash.com.
The best car wash in Sussex is just $1. Club Car Wash is open on Executive Drive, across from Meyer on Lisbon. And for a short time, all washes are only $1, with proceeds benefiting Camp Whitcomb Mason and Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee. ClubCarWash.com.
Join the club. The latest news.
Let's get right to it. This is just breaking right now, a major development.
Exclusive investigations.
That has been confirmed by multiple sources. It is a story you will hear only right here.
In-depth analysis.
I did some digging on this and found the truth.
And plenty of fun.
And it's time now for the strangest stories of the past week.
The Dan O'Donnell Show. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN.
I'm Larry Brinkman, president of Dornbrook Construction. Dornbrook Construction has installed concrete in every industrial and commercial setting from the Milwaukee Airport to Campbell's Soup. From big shots in manufacturing and industry, locally as well as the up-and-coming businesses in southeastern Wisconsin. Big business chooses Dornbrook because they know Dornbrook is ACI certified, fully licensed, insured, and bonded. And they know for 25 years, Dornbrook stands behind every square foot of concrete we install. Little businesses choose Dornbrook for all those reasons, and also because they can afford to choose Dornbrook. Dornbrook is industry's choice for commercial concrete because we do perfect business efficiency-minded preparation and installation on every job. We know you aren't closing your business to have concrete work done. 25 years of experience ensures your loading dock or dumpster pad or machine base or huge flat concrete job isn't our first go-around. Standing behind the concrete Wisconsin businesses and residents stand on Dornbrook Construction. DornbrookConstruction.com. 414-333-0642.
I'm looking for the fastest and easiest way to sell my home, and I keep hearing one name over and over. So I asked people, why Grandview Homes instead of a real estate agent?
I decided that spending the time and money to rehab the unit and sell it through conventional means was not in my best interest.
Right. You were anxious to sell your place quickly, so no time for tours, listings, or any of that. What's the process with Grandview like?
The process with Grandview was virtually effortless. They sent someone out the same day. They give you a fair price offer, close quickly, and pay promptly.
Sounds like you'd recommend them.
I would recommend this company to anyone in a position of having to move quickly and with no hassle.
No hassle?
No hassle.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. We buy every home as is, and you'll get a fair cash offer in just hours.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
One of the things I loved about Holiday Mazda when I bought my SUV, the price was extremely competitive and also clearly marked, totally transparent. When you're dealing with friendly, knowledgeable people who are also straight shooters, you know what that does? It builds trust. Hey, it's Jerry Bott. I trust Holiday, and so will you.
With summer near, the time is right to get here, get more, and drive inspired in a new Mazda from Holiday. During the Spring Forward sales event, well-qualified buyers can lock in rates as low as 1.9% on top of our low simplified price on Mazda favorites, including the off-road ready Mazda CX-50, 2-row Mazda CX-70, and 3-row Mazda CX-90 with standard all-wheel drive. Connect with us, get more for your trade, and enjoy all the ways that Team Holiday makes car shopping fun, simple, and pressure-free. Find yours and drive it home today from Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 Fond du Lac, and at holidaymazda.com.
It's worth the trip.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. If you drive drunk, you will be pulled over and you will be arrested. You cannot talk your way out of a DUI, but you can keep your mouth shut for your best defense. Call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
I don't have time for a home project this year. I don't want to deal with the home improvement dragging on and on. It doesn't have to. Hi, Colleen with Tri-County Contracting. If a new roof is needed this year, we can make the entire project move quickly and be worry-free. No responsibility will be on your shoulders. We'll take care of everything. Worry-free roofing is an instant roof quote button right on our website, tricountycontractingwi.com. Name, address, and email, and you will have your price. Worry-free roofing is a fast and easy estimate process. Worry-free roofing is out with that old, tired, leaking roof and in with a new, beautiful dimensional shingle roof. Worry-free roofing is a quick and annoyance-free roof install. No material or dumpster sitting for days or weeks. Most homes are completed in just one day. Worry-free roofing is a lifetime product warranty and a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's also getting free enrollment in the Every Year Inspection Program, where you get a free roof inspection and maintenance every year for 10 years. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Sarah Jessica Parker almost walked away from Sex and the City. She talks about that and a lot more on Are You a Charlotte? Plus, Snoop Dogg spills about his inauguration performance backlash, and trust me, he's got a lot of things to say about it with the Breakfast Club. And Aubrey O'Day, Diddy's former protege, joins Amy Robach and TJ Holmes for exclusive coverage of the trial that's gripping the nation.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
Did you know that the Soul Asylum Runaway Train music video from 1993 was responsible for reuniting 21 missing kids with their families? Well, now you do. It is the latest edition of Forgotten History. It is available as its own standalone podcast. We have got 4 to 5 minute stories just like that. We try to post one every single week, right around 5:30 or so on Thursday. And that's one that I was really intrigued by. The story sort of has been floating around on social media. It's like a meme of you may be cool, but you'll never be as cool as Soul Asylum rescuing. Now, the meme has like 28 kids. That's not accurate. A number of the children, there were 36 children featured in the music video for Runaway Train. 21 of them were reunited with their families safe and sound. 2 or 3 were unfortunately found dead. And there were a number of, I believe there were 2 murder convictions that arose not necessarily out of the video, but the video was credited with renewing interest in those cases. There was one man, he had killed his son, and he had always maintained his innocence, but he was convicted at trial. There was another one where the girl had fled just horrible abuse. She ended up running away again, I believe died of a drug overdose. And one girl, laughingly went up to Dave Pirner after a Soul Asylum concert, and she said, "You ruined my life," because she had run away because she had escaped horrific abuse. And it got Pirner to say, hey, wait a minute, maybe this wasn't as good a thing as possible. But other people had reached out to him and said, thank you. I was going through so much when I was 14 years old. I never knew how much I needed my family. It's truly one of the great stories in rock and roll history. And it really was. Soul Asylum was like this underground punk and grunge band. And they were by far best known for that song and that music video. And it just changed the trajectory of their career. And they're still touring. I believe they're going to be, one of my buddies just texted me and saying, I have to send that to Soul Asylum, and that they're coming to Milwaukee at some point in the near future. So if you're interested in going to see them, Eagles Ballroom, maybe, I'm not exactly sure. I was never huge into Soul Asylum, but after researching and writing and producing that episode of Forgotten History, I am now like their number one fan, because that is a great story. And truly the lyrics are runaway train, never going back, wrong way down a runway track, feels like I should be getting somewhere. Right now I'm neither here nor there. I mean, that's about as poetic as it gets. And it's awesome that he wrote that while struggling with his own depression. And he was worried that he would never be able to hear music again because he thought he was losing his hearing. Just an incredible story. The story of Hannah Dugan just keeps getting more and more incredible. She has now filed a memo arguing that her case should be dismissed because she enjoys absolute immunity for everything that she does in her courtroom. I wish I was making this up. She actually cites President Trump's argument for immunity, saying that the federal investigation and charges against her are improper. It's a 37-page memo, and it expands upon and gives further argument for her motion to dismiss, which was initially filed on May 14th, the day after she was indicted. Guess who else has now joined her team? Guess which high-powered attorney? I'll give you a hint. I have some indirect history with him. Nice enough guy, but he's a bull bleep merchant. Dean Strang, most famous for defending Stephen Avery. You know how I can tell Strang is completely full of bleep and why I call him a bull bleep merchant? Because nobody remembers him giving this interview, but I do. He famously argued that there was this massive conspiracy against Stephen Avery to frame him for the murder of Teresa Halbach. This was made famous in Making a Murderer. Nobody remembers him saying it, but I do. I don't even know if the tape still exists. This was well before Making a Murderer, well before this case even went to trial. And you know what Dean Strang said? He said, well, when your client is claiming there is a conspiracy against him, that's sort of the defense that you have to go with. He never believed it at all. I suspect he always knew Stephen Avery was guilty, just as he knows that the argument that he just made in federal court is laughable and bull bleep. Because, as we've established, Dean Strang is a bull bleep artist. I would also invite him, as I have invited every member of Hannah Dugan's legal defense team, who presumes themselves to be much smarter than some simpleton on the radio, to come on the air and debate the merits of the case and the arguments you have made with me, a simpleton, with both the facts and law on his side. There is no immunity for a criminal act, even if it's done by a judge, even if it's done in a courtroom. President Trump did not engage in any criminal act when asking his attorney general to investigate irregularities in the 2020 presidential election. That fell well within the scope of his official duties. Ergo, presidential immunity applies. Judicial immunity does not apply unless you are willing to accept my premise that a judge in a jury trial can stand up while the jury is deliberating the fate of a defendant and hustle the defendant out of the courtroom and allow him to run to freedom before the jury returns with a verdict of guilty or not. Is that something that we would accept? Because that's something that the judge would do in the judge's courtroom. And according to this filing, she would enjoy absolute immunity for it. But nobody would think that's something that a judge should have immunity for. So why is it different that this judge shuttled an illegal immigrant, violent criminal out of her courtroom through the jury room doors with the intent of not only allowing him to escape ICE agents, but allowing him to escape the charges that brought him to Judge Dugan's courtroom to begin with? What did she think? That he was going to come back when the ICE agents cleared and they would continue with the prosecution of him that could have landed him behind bars? Oh yeah, that's realistic. He was going to run and keep running and not stop until he got to freedom or Mexico or wherever the hell he thought he was going to go. So unless you're telling me that Dean Strang would be totally fine with, let's say, I'm not sure if he's ever been a prosecutor. Oh, fellow member of the All-Star Defense Team, former U.S. Attorney here in Milwaukee, Steve Biskupik. All right, let's do a little hypothetical here. Steve is prosecuting Dan O'Donnell for thought crimes that I am daring to question the intelligence of Dean Strang and Steve Biskupik in what they're arguing in federal court. He finally got me. He's prosecuting me for, I don't know, getting in his way of some BS legal argument that nobody else in Milwaukee media is even equipped to call him out on. Sadly for these two bozos, I also went to law school forever and a day ago. And this is how I'm using my law degree, not to make BS arguments before a court, but to call them out in front of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So U.S. Attorney Biskupik is prosecuting me in front of Judge Lynn Edelman, old great-grandpa Lynn. And there's a jury that's been impaneled to decide my fate. Would Steve Biskupik be okay with Lynn helping me run to freedom right in the middle of that trial? Your prosecution's gone, Lynn, because ICE happened to show up. Dan O'Donnell will now be broadcasting his show remote from the Cayman Islands for the foreseeable future. Would he be okay with that? Would he say, yes, helping me escape prosecution from him is absolutely within Judge Edelman's core duties for which he should have absolute immunity? Or would that be aiding and abetting my escape, which is criminal no matter what? Taken to its logical extreme, what these bozos are also arguing is that quite literally, if, let's say, I stood up in Judge Dugan's courtroom and started yelling at her for what she did with this illegal immigrant violent criminal, and instead of just having the bailiff take me away, She actually shot me in the face. She grabbed his gun and shot me right in the face and said, all right, order in the court. Now that that's taken care of, bailiff, please pull that bloody corpse away. We will resume. They're arguing she should be allowed to do that. Do we have any idea how insane that is? Now, I'm not sure how many of his faculties old Lynn Edelman is still in possession of. Guy's 85 years old. If he is not the embodiment of the need for term limits on the federal bench, I don't know who could be. Did you see the story? The last living grandson of President John Tyler passed away. John Tyler, the 10th president of the United States, still had up until 2 days ago a living grandson. There were two of them who forever, it was the wildest bit of American history trivia. Tyler, it was very common because people died very young in those cholera or whatever other disease. Okay. That they would remarry very late. And Tyler got married to a young woman who had a son, these guys' father or grandfather, excuse me, or I forget what it was, the father. And then he also did the same thing, had children very late in life. So Tyler was like 84 years old when he had the boy's father. The boy's father was also like 84 years old when he had them. Weirdest bit of trivia, right? Do you know who John Tyler, and the grandson just passed away, John Tyler first appointed to the federal bench? You guessed it. Lynn Edelman. Yes, I'm still going to make Lynn Edelman is old and senile jokes for as long as I am still breathing. You are listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Conservative thought, not just talk, and some fun thrown in for good measure.
Classical conservatism. Contemporary style. The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Still got a stalled vehicle on the 94 westbound ramp to 4145 northbound at the Zoo interchange. 4194 southbound past Ryan Road, a stalled vehicle off to the right shoulder, not really causing a delay. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Blindster.com's Memorial Day sale is on. Save up to 50% site-wide. As a family-owned business, we make custom blinds, shades, and shutters designed to fit your windows and your life. Hurry! The sale ends May 29th, only at Blindster.com.
Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you in Waukesha, Milwaukee, Muskego, Brookfield, Heartland, Cedarburg, and their Waukesha Fleet and Specialty location. If you have a business with a multi-vehicle fleet, Mander is the place to go because their team understands you can't have a vehicle out of service for a while, so they work quickly and efficiently to get you back on the road and serving your customers as fast as possible through expedited fleet repairs. Mander has been serving their customers and their community for well over 20 years, and they know that the key is expert workmanship and fast turnaround times combined with the sort of customer service that you'll only find at a family-owned local business like Mander. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com and find out for yourself why Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
I'm Dave Brownsdorf, president of Flawless Flooring. Realtor.com says depending on location and a few other factors, new hardwood floors add as much as 2.5% to a home sale value, even if you plan to sell. Enjoy home more now while while increasing your sale price with Flawless's LVP, hardwood, or amazing realistic, super wear-resistant modern laminate plank. Steamy wet dog and litter box aromas bother homeowners and buyers. But you say, Dave, we want the sound deadening and warmth underfoot of carpet? Our Delafield and New Berlin showrooms have countless style and combination flooring choices, including quality luxury carpet lines. Steamy stains and carpet stink, including pet fluids, wipe-off flawless floorings, luxury vinyl plank, and modern laminate plank, zero steam effortlessly. Our employee-only craftsmen meticulously refinish existing hardwood, even perfectly blending additional hardwood with existing. With Flawless's nothing down, zero interest financing, upgrade today and pay over 21 months. Sensory underload, Flawless Flooring. FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Henry Wadsworth Longfellow famously said, "Into each person's life, some rain must fall." At Ryan Waterproofing, we tend to agree, as long as it's not in your basement. Free estimates, because praying for drought is overrated. Ryan Waterproofing. Call Ryan.com. That's call RION.com.
Hi, it's Jay. Did you know that Coal Investment Group is now Creative Planning? Coal has been helping clients with custom retirement plans for over 37 years and has now expanded the depth and breadth of services by joining Creative Planning. They provide full-service wealth management, which includes investments, taxes, estate plans, insurance, and business owner services. Visit creativeplanning.com to schedule your introductory meeting. That's creativeplanning.com.
Paid for by Creative Planning, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The speaker's statements are not an endorsement of the firm.
Miners has been gardening from the ground up, a family tradition since 1949. Summer is short. You don't need to be running all over town when all your gardening needs are in one place. See you at Miners Garden Center, 76th, just north of Good Hope.
Attorney Tom Grieve here for Divergent Family Law. Many divorce lawyers set the divorce stage as a cage match, fight of your life. They make money off your misery. The quality of your attorney and Wisconsin law have greater impact on your divorce decree than fighting will. Divergent Family Law is the right firm for your soul and finances. Transitioning to your own life path doesn't have to mean doing as much damage possible to everyone involved. Divergent Family Law, separate and equal, or better. DivergentFamilyLaw.com.
There used to be a day when the national news media prided itself on getting the story right. Those days are gone. Now it's slanted stories, unnamed sources, and fake news. The goal no longer is to inform you. The goal is to indoctrinate you. Here at News Talk 1130 WISN, our show hosts will give you straightforward information and honest analysis. That is our commitment, and that is our daily mission. News Talk 1130 WISN. Real life, real news, real good. We report, you decide. Factual, fair, and balanced coverage. Your exclusive home of Fox News Radio. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
We figured out where and when Soul Asylum is playing in Milwaukee. We did Forgotten History on them. This is July 25th, Friday, July 25th, at the Vivarium in Milwaukee. I will be totally honest with you folks. I have never heard of the Vivarium. It is operated by the Pabst Theater Group. And where did we say it was? Oh, it's on Farwell. Okay, actually, I think I do know where that is. It's a much smaller venue, just 450 seats. Soul Asylum is going to be playing there. I would imagine they close with Runaway Train. And now you can say you know the story behind the music video. I have not, I will admit, I was quite busy today just running around doing some stuff. I did not follow the Maxwell Anderson trial. This, I believe, was the second day of testimony that was presented. Opening arguments were yesterday, and this is just starting to get some national attention. The surveillance video that is being shown is remarkably clear. It shows Anderson going from the scene of the burning car. He, of course, is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and mutilating a corpse in connection with the death of Sade Robinson, whose body parts were found over the course of weeks. You had body parts washing up on the shores of Lake Michigan. The video, the surveillance video, which I had seen before just as part of the run-up to this trial, that shows him leaving the scene of the burning car is remarkably clear. It is very obviously him. You can then get a close-up of his face. They basically track the guy walking from the car all the way onto a Milwaukee County Transit System bus. His face is clear as a bell. I mean, they use her cell phone to track. I think that was his biggest error. In the cell phone was there. It was pinging from his house to every place that he was going. And cameras were picking up where this car was going all the way until he burns it. Now, as I said yesterday, this is a case that's going to require the jury to make some inferences, but I believe those inferences are pretty small logical leaps. All right, we're going to have to leave it there. We are out of time for today's show. Back tomorrow, Friday edition of the Dan O'Donnell Show.